spooky friends, and welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween. To start today's Franken-Paint, you'll have to ignore the leftover paint from yesterday's look here on my neck. We are first going to be taking this little eyeliner pen, and we are going to draw out where we want our patches of skin, of flesh, our green leather, if you will, whatever texture it is that you imagine our Franken-Paint being made out of, that's what we're sketching out. And we are making sure to leave space here on the forehead for our brains to be popping out, because 31 videos in 1 month, that's what it feels like my brains are gonna pop out. But seriously, you guys should subscribe if you're not already, because this is going to be a super fun, spooky season. Next, we are going to be filling in each one of our patches with a different shade of green. Army green, lime green, forest green, green with envy. Just kidding. But any color green that I had in my collection was fair game. I wanted it to have like the overall like green aesthetic, but I wanted it to be slightly different. So we are just filling those in, and I am avoiding my eye area because I kind of want this to be like a glam Franken-Paint. So I'm gonna go back in a little bit later and give myself a little bit of a wham bam, thank you man kind of moment on the eyeballs. We're not just doing our face, but also our neck and down across our chest as well, but we're doing the exact same thing, so I'm probably going to skip over that. You'll notice that in addition to leaving room across the forehead, I've also left small little tracks or patches between some of our flesh patches. Oh my goodness, flesh patches, what a phrase. This is so that we can get a peek into ourselves, like we are busting apart at the seams. So we are going to be filling that in with this berry shade from MEHRON, and then we are going to fill in our brain portion with pink. I primed my eyelids like I normally do. Next, we're giving ourselves some dark eyebrows because frankly, why not? You see what I did there? Yeah, that was bad. Listen, lots of puns this season, you guys, because my puns only get worse the more tired that I am, and I promise you, at the end of this 31 days of Halloween, a girl is gonna be so tired. We're gonna add a little bit of glam eyeshadow to each of our eyes, and we're using colors that are kind of suited towards the shade of our flesh patch, if that makes any sense. Man, I do really love that phrase. So I'm going to be using lighter or brighter greens here on the side that's painted in with lime, and towards this more like army-ish green, I am going to use like deeper tones. It's not really about the eyeshadow. If you are recreating this, you can choose to be a lot more fancy with it, if you will. But I just wanted to knock out like the paint part of, well, the paint part of this paint. So we are going to be elongating our eyes by extending our lower lash line and waterline with a little bit of a white eyeliner. You can see that I drew it into a cute little like tick here in the inner corner, and then I took it all the way across to the outer corner as well. And to really make this pop and emphasize it, I'm actually going back over it and outlining it in this little black eyeliner. Our upper lash line is just gonna get a traditional little flick of a wing, and then we are going to add lashes off camera because, oh, why not? I filled in my lips with a green lipstick that I had, and it was mostly out of frame. So that's cool. Next, we're gonna go in and add a little bit more detail. So I took this white concealer. You can use a cream paint, you can use eyeshadow if that's all that you have on hand. And we are going to be adding a little bit more dimension. So we're gonna add a highlight here to the center of most of our patches, and then later we'll go in and add that shadow to create that like nice movement and really make this paint pop. And now for the brains. A series of curves and curlicues and squiggles in a darker paint, and then we're using eyeshadow to kind of deepen some of those grooves and really add some movement here to this portion as well. I try to concentrate the deeper eyeshadows anywhere where there would be like a super sharp fold. That way it kind of creates the illusion that it's like curved in and creating a shadow in on itself. This is a rather cartoony brain though, so you do have quite a bit of leeway. A white eyeshadow is a great way to highlight, and I even went back in with a white liner as well to really make some of those highlights pop, because I wanted to make sure that any part of the curves or the fissures, which are the little curvatures in your brain, really did stand out and look like they were catching a little bit more light. We want our brains to pop as well as pop out. Next, we're also going to be taking a black paint or eyeliner. I think this one's just paint on a long brush, and we are going to be outlining rips or tears between each of our patches to make sure that those stand out as well. We do that around the outer edge of each one of our patches to really make sure that they pop. And then we took a white eyeshadow and we just added a little bit more dimension to those like inner parts that are kind of like popping open, because we wanted to make sure that, I don't know, not that any of this is like super realistic. It is very much like a more cartoony Franken-Paint, but I like the detail and I like the dimension. So that is why we added eyeshadow to our like innards. Is that gross? It's a little gross, but that's what we did. I'm taking a little bit more of that white paint on an itsy bitsy teeny weeny detail brush, and we are gonna hit the outer edges of those tears with some highlights as well. So we're going to be using a mixture of like olives and other brown tone eyeshadows to add the depth and dimension that I said we were going to our flesh patches. It's not enough for them to be highlighted, they also must have a shadow. So that is what we are doing on a big fluffy brush, concentrating those shadows really towards like the outer corners of each of our flesh patches where they would like gather together a little bit, but not taking it all the way to the line. That way it looks like the very like tippity top, that very edge is kind of peeled up and then casting a shadow down. I hope that makes sense, but that's what we're doing. Last but not least, staples. We may be busting at the seams, but we're trying to look as put together as humanly possible, or inhumanly possible in this case. So I used a silver paint from MEHRON, and then I followed the edges of those because they were really just like little tick marks with my brush with a black eyeliner. I did that to add a little bit of a shadow, and then you'll notice that I also took some of that black and added a couple little like faint tick marks onto the actual staples themselves, just to give them a little bit more dimension. Ta-da! We are now a Franken mess. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and that you're excited for the rest of the videos and 31 days of Halloween. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already. Share this video with a makeup loving friend, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye.